Next up, we got a featherweight scrap here between two violent fighters here, as we have Kanji Zhu, or Zhu Kanji, coming in at minus 105, going up against UFC newcomer Rodrigo Vera, who comes in at minus 115. Now, starting off on the Kanji side of things, he is a road to UFC winner. Last time around, he was able to beat Bin Ji in a very fun matchup where it was really Bin's aggressiveness that I thought would dictate the fight. But even off of his back foot, Kanji did a good job in terms of finding his openings and his counters to land his big shots and land the more effective shots that eventually got him his UFC contract. He is a tepid pace striker at best, right? This is a guy that likes to just wait on his openings for his opponents, likes to counter with speed and power, but there are, fighting that type of style, you're fighting a very fine line where guys are able to really get ahead of him, especially if he's not able to land anything of impact in return to try to muzzle the volume coming back his way or the output coming back his way, depending on what kind of opponent he's going up against. He is 10-1 since 2021 with his lone defeat, a fight that he was able to get back into the win column or at least get his revenge against, and that was a fighter that was able to have some good grappling success against him. We often see fighters look to take that grapple-heavy approach against Kanji, but he has made solid enough improvements where he's showcasing good defense, but also dishing out enough offense of his own to nullify the type of aggression and grapple-heavy approach that most of his opponents seem to take. We saw that in the Shin Haraguchi fight, which was a split decision win for Kanji, but again, it's the damage that is scored more often than not now, rather than the control and the takedown attempts of the grapplers. And I think Kanji has managed to evolve into a good enough fighter in that realm that he can be successful to the point that he's gotten to the UFC. Now, let's remember, these guys coming over from China, we're going to talk about it a lot with a few of the guys actually on this card, even on the road to UFC as well. Those guys, they fight a lot on the regional scene in China because they don't have the type of restrictions that the commissions over here on this side of the world have. So they're able to go out there and have, a crazy amount of fights in a short amount of time because their turnarounds are a lot quicker. Health-wise, maybe not be the best approach, but experience-wise, it's obviously very beneficial for them, especially when they get to the UFC level. Now, he's going up against Rodrigo Vera, who makes his UFC debut on a 13-fight winning streak and was benefiting from the fact that he skipped the line. He didn't have to go to the road to UFC route. He didn't have to go to the Contender Series. He didn't even have to go to the Ultimate Fighter. It was just his winning streak alone that the UFC was like, you know what? Let's bring this guy into the fold. Now, I also believe that this is having to do a little bit with this being a short notice spot for Vera. If you guys remember, Kanji was supposed to fight Ramon Taveras. Taveras, unfortunately, forced to pull out, and in steps Vera, a very fun and exciting fighter. This guy's won and defended the FFC title a few times, which is a big Fight Pass Promotions. He even left his mark with the LFA and Shuto Brazil, and his winning streak actually includes a title fight win against Juan Diaz, who we just saw pull off an upset victory over Malcolm Wellmaker. He's very good. His last and only defeat was back in May of 2019 under the Combate Global banner, which was a very close fight. But as Vera started to fail on takedowns, he started to eat more damage from his opponents and eventually lost that fight on the scorecards. But he's done a great job in terms of evolving his game. He mixes good volume with good takedown attempts, and if he's successful with the takedown attempts, he's pretty good in terms of maintaining that top pressure and really working his opponents down. He also has great cardio to go a hard 15 minutes as well, and he's faced some pretty decent competition as he's come up through this 13-fight winning streak that he's on. I'm interested to see how effective he can be in the UFC, and I think that this is a great matchup for both guys, Zhu and Rodrigo, to see where these guys are at and what kind of potential they can bring. Now, I lean with the Vera side ever so slightly. I don't like banking on guys that are so reliant on, countering, waiting on their opponents to do something, allowing their opponents to kind of dictate the pace, and just a little bit too comfortable off their back foot. Now, there are guys that can be successful with that approach, just as we saw Arnold Allen be in the last UFC event where he was able to defeat Melko Acosta, but I think Zhu is just a little bit too muzzled at times. And I think Vera is a guy with the type of output that he brings and overall game that he brings that he could really cause Zhu some issues here and really get ahead on the scorecards. As long as he doesn't get dropped, as long as he doesn't get cut open, as long as he doesn't get countered and knocked out, I believe this is a spot that Vera can really dictate the pace, get ahead on the numbers, get ahead on the scorecards, and I think he eventually wins this fight on the scorecards. So I'll take Vera by decision.